them alone like I did.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Do you have any questions about legal issues? Have you ever been stopped by a police officer and issued a ticket that you're scared to deal with? Have you ever been in trouble with the law and don't know what to do? Do you have a will or power of attorney question? Is your home being foreclosed upon and you don't know where to turn? Maybe you were given a contract that you don't understand. For freedom and a worry-free solution, call for Legal Shield today at 213-245-1305. It's that simple. You will have access to high-quality law firms that will fight for you for less than $1 a day. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's for Legal Shield. Call 213-245-1305 or visit us at nocourt.us. It's justice for all and not justice for some. So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now. Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's ABTRUSTCO.com or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away. So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.
Do you have any questions about legal issues? Have you ever been stopped by a police officer and issued a ticket that you're scared to deal with? Have you ever been in trouble with the law and don't know what to do? Do you have a will or power of attorney question? Is your home being foreclosed upon and you don't know where to turn? Maybe you were given a contract that you don't understand. For freedom and a worry-free solution, call for Legal Shield today at 213-245-1305. It's that simple. You will have access to high-quality law firms that will fight for you for less than $1 a day. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's for Legal Shield. Call 213-245-1305 or visit us at nocourt.us. It's justice for all and not justice for some.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your Remaster Cell. Today's show is brought to you by Saint Henri Donuts and Beignets. Guys, I got to tell you, man, I stumbled across this place recently, and I have never in my life had better donuts ever. Kev, imagine a donut. This is crazy, man. Imagine a donut. It's called the Louis VIII with a giant lemon filling, and the top looks like there's a bunch of marshmallows that almost look like castle spheres. I mean, it's unbelievable. Folks, you got to check this place out. They're here in Las Vegas at 9460 West Flamingo Road, Suite 115. 9460 West Flamingo Road, Suite 115, here in Las Vegas. I mean, this is the blow-you-away donut, and if you've never had a couture donut, that's what they call them. They have couture donuts. They also have all kinds of other types as well. But let me tell you something. The beignets and donuts, it's the only place in town here in Las Vegas that actually has beignets. And anybody that's been to Jackson Square down in New Orleans knows what a beignet is. But, folks, this is unbelievable. Make sure you check them out at, in fact, you can check them out at I Love Saint, it looks like Henry, but it's actually I Love SAINTHONORE.com. I love SaintHonore.com. And you can follow them at Twitter, I love Saint Honore, as well as you can also email them at hello@ilovesainthonore.com. And again, the phone number, 702-840-3361, 702-840-3361. Kev, it's unbelievable. I had 3 different donuts, and I just had the Louis VIII, and it absolutely blew me away.
What were the other 3 donuts you had?
I had a maple. I love maple. And I had another one. It was a blueberry, almost like a blueberry lemon. And I think it was a gluten-free, as a matter of fact. But it was, you know when you bite into something, you can hear the chorus singing?
Oh, yeah.
It was one of those experiences. I mean, look, I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm not taking any money for this. This is just unbelievable. And I said, I will give you the top of the show, the top of the show sponsor. Just let me try the donuts, and I'll tell you what a glorious donut experience. And you know they have sandwiches and stuff too. They even have the ultimate dough witch, right?
So you can go there for lunch too.
Yeah, it's a little cafe. And I just stumbled across it. I went to one of those soup and salad joints, and I was feeling really good about, my diet after I left there. And then I kind of walked a couple of doors down, and I saw this blinding strawberry, shiny, glazed donut that was screaming my name. So I walked in there. You know, when you could see it from the outside sidewalk, something tells me you have to walk in.
100%. I mean, angels are singing in the background.
Oh,
the donut looks like it's floating. So you got that donut and it was delicious?
It was. Well, I had a sample of it because they had chopped up some for the samples. I'm like, all right, I want more. And so the girl behind the counter, her name was Val, we have to shout her out. She did a fabulous job of representing Saint Honoré Donuts and Beignets. What a great experience. And, you know, it's hard to rave about experience when you come from the food capital of the world in Chicago. I mean, it really is. I would argue that it has the best food in the country. Of course, you know, New York would say the same, LA would say the same, and on and on and on. But, Kev, when's the last time you had a knock your socks off donut?
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've had a good donut, yeah. That's kind of depressing now that I think about it, that it's been that long since I've had a good donut.
Well, look, and you know, it typically takes a long time to digest donuts. That's why I really don't eat them frequently. But this is one of those things, I don't care if it took a month to digest the donut. It was one of those experiences here in the studio here in Las Vegas. I brought one in, and Michelle, that works up front here at KSHB 1400, I brought her one of these donuts in, and I said, check that. She goes, first I have to take a photo of it, which she did. She took like 3 photos of it. So now I guess we'll have the donut centerfold, you know, on our wall.
That's going to be on the gram right there.
Yeah, I don't know. It probably will. But it actually looked like a castle, and it had like these gold flakes on it. You know, like the gold flake. What do you call the drink?
Oh, Goldschlager.
Goldschlager. Yeah. Okay. So it has like the regular gold metallic flakes on it. And I'm raving about it. I'm talking about it. Yes, everyone driving home right now, you're like, this is a sports show. Well, this is just a food segment. Get over it.
This is donuts.
This is donuts, exactly.
Yeah.
And you wish you had one driving right now on the 405 or the 5 or the 91 or the 60 or 215 or the 15. That's in Southern California or all those people driving on the 90, 94 or 294 or 55, 57 in Chicago, whatever. Even the H1 in Hawaii. Let's face, they love their donuts in Hawaii. My point is, if you have a donut in your hand right now and you're sitting in traffic, you're in a happy place, right? So traffic isn't really that bad because you have a glorious donut, right or wrong?
100% right. I think a donut in your hand makes any situation better. I don't care how good the situation is or how bad it is. You got a donut in your paw, you're in a good mood.
Exactly. Yeah, but this was just one of those experiences that look, folks, it is a donut, but it's not just a donut. So I would really recommend, look, I'm not getting paid for this. Just go and check this out, and you'll never have a better donut experience, I would argue, at least here in Las Vegas. I don't know about the rest of the planet, but this is as good as it gets. Saint Honoré, Donuts and Beignets, 9460 West Flamingo Road, Suite 115 in Las Vegas. It's really off the corner of Fort Apache and Flamingo. So make sure you get on over there and tell them the circus sent you. Yes!
How's the coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
Really?
No,
you seem like you drink a lot of coffee. I'm not going to lie.
Never! No, I don't drink coffee. In fact, the taste of coffee is so disappointing to me, I prefer a hot cocoa.
Okay.
But why do I seem like coffee would be it?
You're high energy. You seem like the kind of guy who wakes up and the coffee's already made. He's pre-done it the night before. Pour yourself a cup, look over the sports headlines for the day, the things that happened overnight.
No. Maybe that was somebody else. Maybe that was a picture of yourself in the mirror. No, I don't drink coffee. And where am I going to be looking over the headlines?
On your phone. I don't know.
I don't get up early in the morning.
Listen, you're in radio.
I'm up till 3 or 4 in the morning every day. I don't do that. No. I mean, look, for everybody commuting back and forth to work right now, yeah, you're getting up at maybe 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, right? And you're sitting in traffic, and you're thinking, now you're going to be thinking about that donut idea. I know, because, I mean, let's face it. Again, there's nothing better than, driving down the street, sitting in traffic, saying, I need something to take my mind off this. And what's it going to be? A donut. A donut always does it, right? That's why people go to the store and buy 10 of them. I don't know. And they're very happy when they get to work and somebody brought them in because they thought of a donut the entire way into work. Anyway, I'm done with the donut talk. Make sure you check them out, folks. Saint Honoré here in Las Vegas. And make sure you follow them on Twitter as well at what is it? It's I Love St. Henri, at I Love St. Henri. All right, folks, we're going to be back here with a very special guest. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here on The Circus. Back in a few minutes.
Here's today's top automotive tech story. I'm Nick Miles. Tesla has squeezed a 370-mile range out of its big battery Model S. Updates to the drivetrain add 10% more driving range to the 100D trim line, making the Model S the longest range EV in production. Tesla announced the updates to the Model S and Model X drivetrain, allowing the vehicle to get even more mileage out of the optional 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack. The Model X long range will stretch its range to 325 miles. For more automotive tech news, go to testmiles.com.
Hop into the all-new greater-than-ever Corolla, now with a redesigned sporty exterior. The Toyota Safety Sense 2.0 comes standard with advanced tech safety features, bringing peace of mind to every drive. Go to toyota.com/testmiles for details.
You're listening to Global American Broadcasting, the Gab Radio Network. For more info on our programs and services, including technical operations and syndication, please visit gabradionetwork.com.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935. Or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Here is today's top automotive tech story. I'm Nick Miles. The 2020 Porsche 911 will use microphones to keep you safe from hydroplaning. When the 911 hears the splashing of deep puddles, it will automatically recommend that you switch to wet mode. When selected, wet mode softens the throttle response, keeps automatic transmission-equipped vehicles in a higher gear, reduces engine torque, and makes the stability of the ABS more sensitive. For more automotive tech news, go to testmiles.com.
Hop into the all-new greater-than-ever Corolla, now with a redesigned sporty exterior. The Toyota Safety Sense 2.0 comes standard with advanced tech safety features, bringing peace of mind to every drive. Go to toyota.com/testmiles for details.
You're listening to Global American Broadcasting, the Gab Radio Network. For more info on our programs and services, including technical operations and syndication, please visit gabradionetwork.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal. This segment is brought to you by Legal Shield, providing legal protection and peace of mind for less than $1 a day. Legal Shield can help with traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUIs, court appearances, estate planning, even contracts given to you that you don't understand, plus a whole lot more. Call Legal Shield right now for legal help for less than $1 a day at 213-245-1305. That's 213-245-1305. Again, 213-245-1305. Or visit them online at nocourt.us. That's nocourt.us, and tell them the circus sent you. And a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Folks, we have a very special guest today, and we're going to let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Art Kusnyer. I've been in Major League Baseball for 56 years, signed with the White Sox. back in 1966. Been around the game. Went with the Angels, Kansas City, Milwaukee. It's, and then back with the White Sox. And now I'm just an advisor with the White Sox since I lost my sight in 2007.
All right. So, Art, you have a nickname of Cave. The world seems to call you Cave. Where'd you get that from?
I got that back when I was playing with the Milwaukee Brewers, and Lenny Cicada. I think a lot of people might remember him, little second baseman, who was a hell of a player. He came up one day at the batting cage and said, "You know what? You look like a caveman when you catch." And he started calling me Cave, and it hooked on, and it's been with me ever since.
Nice. Okay, so Art, here's what we're going to do. We're going to open the phone line up, see if somebody wants to give a call and ask a question while we're in the middle of our dialogue. And, folks, if you want to call in, dial 844-305-7800, 844-305-7800, 844-305-7800 if you want to have a question for Art Kusnyer. So, all right, I have to ask you, back in the day when you first ended up meeting Tony La Russa, I mean, this was a long time ago, just a minute ago, right? And you've kind of been involved with Tony and the White Sox seemingly for the better part of your baseball life. Now, when you first met Tony, what did you think from his philosophy on pitching? And there's I'm going somewhere with this, and it really leads to what we know today as basically your starting rotation going about 6, and then you have your setup guys and your closer and so forth. Because back in the day, your starting pitchers were, essentially your front to back guys. But with Tony, with a lot of his baseball, I guess from what the media knows and what a lot of other people tend to believe, is that Tony changed the game of baseball. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, Tony was one of the best prepared managers I've ever been around. And when I was came to him from AAA ball, and that's where I first met him, and I was like about the same age as he was, and I was still playing, but he was a manager. We went to Iowa, and as we went along, being a baseball guy, which he is, big time, whatever. So he asked me, like when he went to the big leagues, he wanted me to be his bullpen coach because the White Sox didn't have a bullpen coach. So I was at the time, I basically was done in my career as a player. And so we ended up hooking up, but he was always into trying to get the players, the best players, especially pitching. And you start off, you got to have a good closer. Because if you get into late innings and you can't shut it down, then you're not going to do anything, winning-wise.
Right. Well, I ask about that because I think back to, let's just go back to the late 1970s, early 80s. When I'll take a look at the Chicago Cubs. I grew up in Chicago as a fan of both, but the Cubs lost me when they dealt off Bruce Sutter to the Cardinals. And then I was a dedicated White Sox fan from that point on. And so my question is, when you take those guys from back in the Bruce Sutter days and maybe the Goose Gossage days, do they I wouldn't say they certainly don't hurt the game. What I'm after is looking at the front to back starting pitching. When you look at the rotation and you have a role to go 8 or 9 innings if you can, but nowadays you see pitchers going 5 to 6 innings. Now, is it a matter of strength and conditioning, and have the pitchers become more accustomed to, we know we're only going to go 6, so we're not going to condition for 8 or 9?
No, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it comes to the mental aspect of the pitcher. Because years ago, when the starter got the ball, he's going to go 9.
Right.
And basically you had to drag him off the mound to get him out of there. And today they, because of pitch count and, like the cybermetrics comes up with the spin ratio and all that stuff. You know what? If you're going to, like back then, and even today, these guys, if they didn't have this pitch count mentality, you would see them try to get into the ninth because they have quality starts where they go, oh, the guy went 5 innings or he went 6 innings.
Right.
Come on. Go out, get it. Get down, get competitive. And, it's like when I travel with the White Sox, I've heard from other coaches too, they're sitting on the bench and the starter comes and goes, how many pitches I have?
That's kind of
for
crazy.
me, come on.
It's crazy to hear that. It doesn't make sense. But then again, I'm not in your position, but to me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
I'm old school, so I'll probably get people calling in, and, razzing me, but I don't care. I mean, you go for it. I caught Nolan Ryan for 2 years with the Angels, and he threw over 200 pitches a few times when I caught him.
Wow.
And still thrown over 100. So, I mean, where are you going from there,
Right. Hey, speaking of callers, we have a caller by the name of Jim in Omaha. Let's go ahead and put him through. Jim, you're on the Sports Circus.
Hello. Jim Kusnyer here. Hello. Jimmy, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Hey, I'm here with Marilyn, Jimmy, and Johnny. Want to call you and wish you the very best because that's exactly what you've given all of us. You and given us and all the baseball fans over the years. You're a great ambassador for the White Sox. And by the way, Cave, say hello to Aunt Irene.
Oh, I'll do that. She's doing good.
Everything okay, buddy?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay, hope to see you in Arizona this winter.
Yeah, we'll have a lunch together.
Okay. Hang in there, brother.
I will. You too. Thanks for calling in.
You're very welcome.
All right, Jim, thanks for calling in. So, yeah, a lot of people are going to call in because, look, you're a pretty popular guy, Art, in the baseball world. The fans love you. Look, me as a lifelong White Sox guy, I felt very comfortable seeing you back in the bullpen and directing traffic in there. For those people that don't know what a bullpen coach does, tell everybody in 30 seconds what one does.
Well, your bullpen, your coach has to basically, when he gets the call, he makes sure when they get a particular pitcher up, whatever inning it is, he gives them the information who he's going to face, and make sure that he knows, what the situation is, which the pitcher should already know when he gets up, but he knows he's going to give him the information. He's not going to give him a dissertation about how his delivery. All he's going to do is give him certain keys and let him know that, okay, you're going in. There might be a guy on third base, might be one run or whatever to tie the game or go ahead. But what you want to make sure is don't have a big inning. Get the hitter out. If you get him out, don't go out there thinking you got to strike a guy out. Because if you do that, you end up walking him. You want to make sure that one pitch can get you out of the inning and make the pitch.
Right. You got 7 guys behind you. Make sure you use them.
That's correct. You got to go out. You're going to face this guy one pitch at a time and get it done. They pay those guys behind you to catch the ball, not just to hit it.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, if you got the guys that got the big heart, and they say in the game you got big balls, I don't know if that can be on the radio, but
you're good.
That's
you're
it.
Good. No, you're good. Look,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't really know, and so I have to ask the question. And here, so in the next 30 seconds, I want you to tell everybody, do you have any say in which pitcher in the pen is either A, more ready or possibly more appropriate for the battery or for the next batter that's coming up?
That's all taken care of before the game. That's all preparation. Because
Gotcha.
you know what guys they've used, they know what guys that are ready, and that they didn't use like the day before. They might use a guy day before, but he might be ready today, and then they'll know he's going to face one hitter, or he's going to pitch that final inning, or he may come in, pitch that inning, get one guy out, and he may go back out, and then they have a guy backing him up.
Mm-hmm.
So, because they don't want to burn these guys out, because being in the bullpen, some guys they use them 2 or 3 times, in a day, every 2 or 3 times a day, and all of a sudden, you got to give them a break.
Sure, sure.
So
hey, folks, we're going to be back here
they
with
have to know.
Hold that thought for a second. Folks, we're going to be back here with Art Kusnyer in just a few moments. Two-time World Series champion. Back here in a few minutes on The Circus. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company. 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company. Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company. 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.
A great radio show may sound like it's easy to make, but if you've ever tried, you know that's not the case. With the time spent engineering, producing, and archiving, you end up losing focus on what really matters, the content of your show. If you put your show on the Gab Radio Network, you'll be able to leave all those technical worries to our staff of highly trained engineers and producers. And all you need to do is have fun and put on a great show. Want to find out more? Send an email over to sales@gabradionetwork.com. That's sales@gabradionetwork.com.
Get superior absorption for superior results with Quantum Nutrition Lab's probiotic fermented nutrition. Buy 3 or more of any combination and get 35% off. Call 888-588-7578 or visit us online at qnlabs.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD, host of Healthline. Tune in and hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family.
Healthline is distributed nationally by the Gab.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal. This segment is brought to you by Cali Vegas, helping people just like you create and host your very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show. Cali Vegas can help you with getting out of sitting in traffic every day for hours and hours. Get out of traffic and host your very own talk show in your very own studio. Call Cali Vegas right now at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Or visit CaliVegas.com. That's CALI Vegas.com. And tell them the Sports Circus sent you. And a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and our NBC, Fox, and CBS Sports affiliates from coast to coast, including our friends over in Honolulu on CBS Sports 1500 KHKA in sunny Southern California, on NBC News, CNBC Financial, and NBC Sports, KCAA 106.5 FM, 102.3 FM, and 1050 AM right here in Las Vegas, KSHP 1400 in Chicago, WCGO 1590 and 95.9 FM, our Westwood One News affiliate. Of course, down in Southern Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. We don't want to forget our friends down there listening in on Talk 1490 WIRB and on the New York Yankees Radio Network 1340 and 105.3 FM, covering the greater Buffalo and Toronto markets on WLVL, our Fox Sports affiliate. Thanks for everybody streaming the show also on thesportscircus.com. Here with two-time World Series champion Art Kusnyer. And Art, we were talking in between the commercial break a little bit about what it takes to be, well, let's put it this way. Let's kind of rewind a little bit. What it was about with the team, and if a bullpen coach gets the phone call, and then what does it take to take that call? And, for example, I mean, practicing all season long. I'm kind of jumping all over the place. Practicing all season long for the postseason. Now, I have to ask you this. Now, for the coaches that you have coached for, or the managers that you have coached for, whether it was La Russa, and you're with Ozzie Guillen. Contrast the two between Tony La Russa and Ozzie Guillen, if you will, the managing style.
Well, Tony was, very prepared, and Ozzie was just, he had a real way of, what he did about, he was just like, all right, I'm playing these guys. This is what I'm doing. I know what I got to get ready, and Tony and him were kind of basically the same. Tony was very prepared, and he would make lineups up what the other team would have, the next day when we'd be sitting having a cocktail in the bar or something, and Ozzie just was like, I'm going for it. This is what I'm doing. So, but we had the players. And once you have the players, it's not like you sit there and scratch your head, because we had the players, when Ozzie was there. When I was in Oakland, we had the starting pitcher and a great bullpen.
Oh,
it was the same way we had great starting pitching with Ozzie and the bullpen. So it's, once you have the players, and that's the whole thing today, you got to have the players. And if you got players that can get it done, then you know what, it makes your job a little bit easier instead of trying to, oh God, do I have to pay? This guy's coming in. I got to have my bullpen totally ready because I don't know how long this guy's going to go, or is he going to, whatever. But the bottom line is that you got to have players, and if you don't have the players, you're not going nowhere. I mean, there's 25 teams at the end of the year, 2016, and they don't go nowhere. Why? Because they don't have those players. They might have one or two, but they don't have the full arsenal that they need to be a winning team. I mean, it's simple, but, people come across and they want to the manager does not do this, the coaches don't do it. If they don't have the players, they can't do anything. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, I know I get a lot of heat from people when I say that, but that's me. So that's the bottom line, because all you got to do is look at the stats and look at everything. Numbers are numbers, and that's all they are. So you need players. You got to have players, and that's the bottom line.
So, Art, with the rebuild that the White Sox are going through, and I have to ask you about being the bullpen coach, for example, and you see these teams that are going through rebuilds, which, I mean, the White Sox seem to be doing very well with their rebuild, but what do you make of the rash of Tommy John surgeries? How do you feel about that? What is the cause, in your opinion?
You want my opinion?
Yes.
I'll give you my opinion. I think it's too much conditioning. They don't never let these guys, their arms rest. They never let them. I mean, there's Tommy John. There's they have the oblique. Everything is. I remember years ago when guys would come out after they pitch, and they would pitch, 150 pitches in a game. They would take it easy for the first couple days. They let their arms, rest. Now they go in, they do. And I'm going to catch a lot of heat for this, but I don't care. But it's like you got to do, they come in there and they're doing all these exercises. They never let their arms, just rest and, and just get themselves together before they throw again.
Well, Art, I've been saying this now for the last couple of years, and I say it all the time on this show, and I tell people, look, the difference between what you see now with all these injuries is the strength and conditioning programs that these players are going through versus maybe what they went through maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago. You had guys that were going, like, you take a guy like Nolan Ryan that could throw 200, but you have a whole group of pitchers from yesteryear. What did they do? They worked on the ligaments, strengthened them. They stretched a lot, etc. They were throwing some long toss, whatever, but they weren't beating themselves up in the weight room all the time. And let me ask you this: do you remember I think it was 1983? Remember Richard Dotson won 22 odd games, 23 games, something like that. And then in the off season, that's when the Sox lost to the Orioles that season, the postseason, right? And then Richard Dotson. Yeah, you were there. Yeah. And so Dotson, he got real big in the offseason, and I use this example quite a bit. I think he gained a bunch of muscle mass in his upper body, and the pectoral got so big they actually had to cut 4 inches of muscle out of his chest. So because it wouldn't allow him to finish his throwing motion properly. I guess he was having some problems. But that goes back to the weightlifting piece that I was mentioning and that you had mentioned as well. Is there any truth to that?
Well, I would say so. I mean, I'm like I said, I'll be on here. I'll probably get a bunch of calls on it, but I don't give a crap because I get I'm serious because I think they over condition. They never let their arms recuperate after they throw. They go and they're doing all this exercises and they're doing all this and flipping these big balls around and stuff.
Right.
And I remember guys that I was around that never did that stuff, and they're pitching, they're throwing 150, like Nolan, 200 some pitches. He did a lot of stretching and did a lot of stuff, like he would rent a place with a swimming pool, and he would ride the bike. But all the weights and stuff, I don't think he ever did a lot of that stuff. And I mean, you look what the career he had, and I just don't think that's just my opinion, and people don't like it. Well, the cavemen don't care what they think.
Right.
So that's what I said.
Art, a lot of people say the same thing. And I had Denny McClain said the same thing about it. Even from the batter side, I had a regular conversation with Darrell Evans. He's been on many times talking about what he has seen from the pitcher side, being on the other side of it. And it was the same feedback. And ultimately, what are we looking at here? We're looking at these great talents. And what are they doing? They're lifting and lifting and lifting, and all they're doing is they're putting themselves on the injured list, which no longer disabled is. Now it's an injured list. But it seems like we have a lot of guys, even Tommy John, when Tommy John came on here, he said the same exact thing that you said. And these kids today are basically under a very different strength and conditioning program, and it's landing them on the injured list, and I would argue that it's wrecking their careers.
Yeah, well, that's just my opinion, and I think there's some stuff that they can do, but not as much as they do. I think they do too much, and they never let their arms recuperate to get back. Like you got to let it rest.
Sure.
You can't keep building and beating it down, and then they can only go like. They get the 90 pitches, and then everybody's panicking. Got to get the bullpen ready. Got to do this. You got to do that. So, whatever.
Yeah, maybe with that 90 pitches, if they did 90 less reps in the weight room, they wouldn't be stuck at 90 pitches or 100 pitches. I don't know. All right, so we have about a minute left in this segment. Go ahead and wrap this piece up here, then we'll move on to something else.
Well, they just, baseball's baseball. You got to have players. You got to have the players. You can't come up and and start throwing numbers at them. This number. When you get the ball, go out and do what you got to do. We make pitches. If you throw 15 pitches an inning or less, you're going to pitch 9 innings. But if you watch games today, guys are throwing 25, 30 pitches an inning. So you wonder why, how many pitches I have. And what that becomes is pitch count becomes a negative. Like, how many pitches? Then they start thinking, well, I can't go anymore. You know.
Right.
So whatever they got to do, but that's baseball. I sit back and just watch it.
Right. Just sit back and have a cocktail and watch the game. And how about pitching to contact? Folks, we're going to be back here in a few minutes with Art Kusnyer, two-time World Series champion, in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come.
Dahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. So it naturally has antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-infection, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. But maybe more importantly, Dahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea builds corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die in oxygen. The tea is great for healthy people, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. Dahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea is only $34.95 plus shipping. Order now at buysupertea.com or call 818-274-8270. That's buysupertea.com, 818-274-8270, buysupertea.com.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935. Or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
This is Dr. Mitch Gibson from The Mitch and Kathy Show. Have you ever wondered why you can't talk to people about certain things? Every day we go through life holding back on what we really want to talk about. Yes, there's a lot of talk shows that give you a chance to air your opinions about politics, race relations, and a host of other topics that you're supposed to be thinking about. Well, what about those other areas that you hold back on, such as that ghost you saw when you were a kid, those times when you travel outside your body, that UFO you can't talk about that you saw in your backyard, those strange people that appear and disappear around you, and you know you're not crazy. On the Mitch and Kathy Show, we give you a chance to talk about stuff like that, things that you hide from the world. In this way, we consider ourselves a guilty pleasure.
Visit themitchandkathyshow.com for more information, or go to gabradionetwork.com.
Stand up. Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Zell. Folks, make sure you check out thesportscircus.com for all of our upcoming guests, our prior guests, our podcasts. Hell, pick up some swag. Have some nice t-shirts and hats and bags. And make sure you visit our partners as well. The partners are great because they help out a lot of charities with the kids and a lot of the retired players from Pick Your Favorite Sport. It's just some great human beings that we work with, and they're all partners of the Sports Circus. So make sure you visit thesportscircus.com as well. And a big thanks for everybody staying with us here on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Here are two-time World Series champion Art Kusnyer. And Art, you've seen a few things in your 56 years of baseball. What is the most unusual thing that you have in your brain about this game that you've seen and you still can't explain? Maybe something that happened on the field.
I've seen a lot of stuff that I couldn't explain because longer you're in this game, you'll see things that you go like, what the heck was that? You know, I mean, I've seen things, you know, that just like I saw a triple play one time with not one defensive guy touch the ball. I think that's the one thing that really,
Really?
Yeah, and that was back in it was an A ball, no double A, and team had we had guys on first and second, and there was so the pitch was made, pop up in the infield. The manager had put a hit and run on, took off, ball goes up, so now that's an infield fly rule. That's one out.
Right.
So the guy at first, he's an idiot. He takes off, and he keeps going. The guy at second takes a couple steps, comes back to the base about maybe 4 steps, and the guy at first passes him for the second out, and the pop-up hit the runner for the third out.
That's unbelievable.
So I'm going, you got to be kidding me, you know. And someone says, what'd you do? I says, I put my gear on, and I went out and caught the next inning.
That's unbelievable.
You know, I mean, there's always something that, you know, I mean, you see the game, and there's people that'll stand up, you know, like, and become, you know, get things done in the game. And that's what you want. You want guys that are going to stand up. You need players. And I said it earlier in the show. I mean, you got to have players. You got to have players that have a strong mentality, and they're not going to, you know, sit back and not be a first and 15th guy. Because I get a lot of guys, and I always tell guys in the bullpen, you know what? You're talking to me, and what you're doing is you're insulting my intelligence. Because the outer man always talks a lot of crap, but the inner man always shows up on the field. So what are you doing? Basically, you're scared. So, I mean, come on, brother. You know, you're going to talk the walk, then do the walk. You know, and I've always been, like, you know, and I get people telling me, you know, you can't do it. Hey, you want to win? Let's get it on. Let's just don't think about, oh, you know, how many pitches I have, or, oh, I got to face a certain guy. Well, be the man and get him out, and then you're the real man. I mean, that's the bottom line.
I mean,
get it on. I mean, quit being a, you know,
yeah, being one of those. Right. Can't really say that. All right, so if you're going to be the man in yesteryear's game, let's see when you came in. I think, wasn't your first year 1967?
Yeah, you're giving away my age now.
Oh,
I think,
come on, man. Come on. Be the man. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, I came up, yeah.
Okay, all right.
You know,
so
I came
now,
up and
you came up around that time. Let me ask you this. Think about grabbing that baseball and grab the baseball from today's game. Is today's ball wound a little tighter, a little bit livelier? What are we looking at here?
You got that right.
A lot of home runs. A lot of home runs, buddy.
For over 30 years. And, you know, when I was, you know, the bullpen coach, and I took care of baseballs, and I've seen the baseballs. These balls are a lot livelier. So what they've done is they don't wind it any tighter. They've made the string tighter. They really wound the string tighter. And then they wind it, and I'm telling you, I mean, these guys, they come up now, you see guys leaning out there taking half swings, and the ball's gone.
Right.
And that's, you know, because I've seen it. Because when I first had the baseballs, back when I first came up in the 80s, and Rawlings would have 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot, 4 dot, 5 dot on the ball. You get a 1 dot, you know, it was like dead. you get up to the 5-dot balls. Now you got a livelier ball. And they used to put them in the game for with certain teams. And Bill Veck told me, he said, called me one time and said, hey, check the balls. What do we have? Do you have any 1-dot or 2 balls? Because we're facing the Yankees, and they had all these guys get home,
Right.
So I got the 1-dot. I got 1 dots. And he goes, put those in the game. So I says, okay.
That's great.
I got to do what the boss says. So
where would the dots be found on the ball?
Okay, on the ball, there would be on the top, like where it said Rawlings. That's when Rawlings made the balls. And right above it, there would be the dot.
Got it.
And so, you could tell. We got 3 dots, we got 2 dots.
I got a few of those old ones at home. I'm going to have to check them out.
That's the old Rawlings balls. That goes back in the 80s.
Right.
In the 70s when they had it.
That's
so I just, whatever you want, I'll put them in humidifier. Even the dead in them even know. So.
But they're certainly livelier today. You see these guys, they're 5'0", 100 and nothing, and they're hitting the ball 450 feet. That makes no sense to me. No sense whatsoever.
No, well, it doesn't make any sense to me. I watch them. I get the balls and I look at them, and I'm telling you, they're alive. They're doing all this stuff, like velocity off the bat, home runs. They've, they hit more home runs, and but they strike out more than they've ever struck out before.
Right.
Because I know last year there was somebody had told me that there was more strikeouts than hits in the month of April ever in baseball. So, the game has changed. That's what they want. They do it for the fans, and then they pump up the gun to show a guy, he's throwing 100. And I'm sitting down there, I'm going, if this guy's throwing 100, I'll sell you a bridge. Because I caught Nolan Ryan, for 2 years. And I know what 100 is.
Right.
So,
all right, so
whatever
listen,
you want to do. They want to attack me, I don't care.
Don't worry. No one's going to attack you. You're in the circus. You're safe under the big top, and it doesn't matter. Even without it, you're going to be safe anyway. Hey, listen, in the last minute here, is any causes, anything of interest that you want to get out there and promote, or you want to say hello to your friends or family or anything out there?
Well, I want to say hello to all the White Sox people. The White Sox have been absolutely great to me. Jerry Reinsdorf has been an absolutely amazing man taking care of me, and Rick Hahn, Kenny Williams, Rick Renteria, and all the coaches there. They've been great. And with my family, my wife, 52 years has been awesome, and I just enjoy. We sit here and watch the games, and once we get off of here, I'm going to turn the White Sox and Detroit game on.
That's right, and all I can say is, go Sox! All right.
Yeah,
thanks for.
Hope they can do it.
Hey, listen, they're going to do fine. They're going to do fine. And listen, Art, thanks for taking your time and joining us today here on the circus. And you're always welcome back. And bring some of your friends the next time. Maybe you can lasso a couple of the guys, and we'll talk a little bit more for a little bit longer. And I appreciate you coming on. Thanks again.
Yeah, my cousin Jim Kresnick called me. I see him all the time. They're a great family. So,
all right. Well, again, folks, make sure you join us tomorrow right here on the Sports Circus. Lots more fun to be had. A big thanks for Art Kusnyer for joining us, 2-time World Series champion. And we're going to be back on your favorite channel tomorrow. So we'll see you then. Until then, so long, everyone. Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.